This is free game. If you are a graphic designer, entrepreneur, content creator, service provider, whatever, there's probably a question in here you've been dying to ask me, even though you don't know who the hell I am. What's going on? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Corey. I am a graphic designer and art director based in Atlanta. Today, I am going to be answering some questions that my Instagram followers have asked me in regards to career, business, entrepreneurship, freelancing, so on and so forth. You're probably like, who is asking this girl questions and why do I care about her answers? The long story short is, I am a self-taught designer who has almost 10 years experience in design. I work full-time at a creative agency as an art director currently, and I run a design studio that specializes in branding for Black-owned businesses. I'm also an illustrator. I don't know why I forget that one. As a freelancer, I work with big and small clients, big clients being like VH1, Netflix, so on. If you want to know more, just go to my Instagram and follow me while you're there. I have built a community of people who like asking me questions. So these are the questions. I'm gonna answer some of them today. I'm gonna get right into it. The first question here is, how do you balance a 9-to-5 and your art life? I don't, if I'm being honest. This question is hard to answer because it's kind of like, because it's less about balance but more about discipline and knowing that this is something that I want to do. I want to have my 9-to-5 and I want to do all these other things that I want to do, and so that's just where the discipline comes in. I wake up outside of my 9-to-5, obviously, where I'm doing my full-time job. I wake up earlier to have a shift prior to that if I'm feeling it, and then I put in some hours after work. I do make sure I structure my 5 to 9 in a way where I'm hitting certain milestones so that I'm not rushing at the end to complete this super large project that I should have been working on this whole time, but then my job got in the way and blah, 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 blah. I don't have time for that. I'm sure you don't either, so I try to avoid that. But the balance for me is more so in discipline. No 2 days look the same. I don't have a day-to-day structure like that. I just try to make sure each day isn't too overwhelming. Long story short, wake up earlier. What's the best way to get into a creative marketing career? I'd say the biggest thing of this is to do the thing that you want to do, and this applies to any creative industry career. Do the thing that you want to do in the capacity that you can do it right now. So what I mean is, if you are currently seeking a full-time position in a creative role, but you aren't getting hired, scale it back and find some projects that you can work on in that realm. That does not necessarily mean you need to go out and find clients right now. If I see a product in a store that I think could benefit from a facelift, I might go home and make a little side project out of redesigning that product, throw in my portfolio, and I'm going to share it on social media. That is my biggest thing. A lot of us are afraid to use social media for work and career purposes. I'm big on it. That's the only way I was able to grow a platform in the past year. Sharing what you can do, no matter who you think is looking at it or liking it, will help you in the long run for your career. A lot of my clients have come through Instagram, my personal Instagram, because I often share my work. When you show your work, people will always have you top of mind as that thing. If you're a photographer and you're using Instagram, I mean, I know Instagram, the algorithm, whatever, but if you're a photographer, still share your work on Instagram because people will always remember you as a photographer, regardless. So when it's time for them to hire a photographer, you'll be top of mind, and look, boom, now you have a client, now you have work you can add to your portfolio, now you can show employers something different, things like that. But ultimately, do what you can in the capacity that you can do it right now with the resources that you have right now. The next question is, how did you align with your current business path? I got into this career path in general because I wasn't the best student in school, which sounds crazy, but essentially I went to a high school that was focused on engineering and I did not like math or science, so what was I doing there? But anyway, after your second year, you had an opportunity to apply to a major where most of your classes moving forward would be focused in that major. And so I chose media communications, which had graphic design, film and animation, studio art, all those things, and that's just what I stuck with forever. Because I built a portfolio in school, I used that portfolio to apply to college, and then I continued to do the same thing. I did advertising and art direction in college, and then it went from there. I kind of am blessed to say, I guess I knew what I wanted, whether by chance, accident, whatever. I knew what I wanted to do for a while. Next question, creativity blocks, how to overcome them. Thanks for sharing. I say my number 1 thing for a creative block is to drop the thing that I'm doing. That might be cliche. People always say like, go on walks, dude. I'll take a nap, I'll go to sleep. I'll literally play dead to whatever project I'm working on, because if I'm blocked, I'm blocked, and me looking at it longer isn't going to help me get out of it. That's that. Another thing I do is consume some other type of content. So whether that's reading a book, watching a TV show, watching a movie, listening to music, whatever, just doing anything else but still consuming some type of content. So that way I'm not just left in my thoughts, I at least have something else going on in there. That's been helpful as well. Basically, the more steps I can take back from the work, the more room I give myself to think more broadly versus zeroing in on that specific topic and that specific thing. That's probably getting on my damn nerves. Do you like balancing freelancing and 9 to 5? I think about just doing my job instead of both. No, I don't like it, which is why I won't be doing it forever. How do I pitch myself as a freelance strategist? Pitching yourself is nothing but showing your work. I think when pitching yourself, the two things you want to focus on is being relevant and innovative, and then also positioning yourself in a way that's different from other people. There is always going to be something that makes you different from the next strategist or whomever. I will find that, tap into it, and use it as your gimmick of sorts. Say you are someone who's young and is super tapped into pop culture. Maybe you have a TikTok account where you comment on pop culture all the time. Using your strategy brain to talk about pop culture could be something that you show to these companies and whoever you're trying to freelance for. Like, hey, I really know this, I do it well, and I can apply it everywhere. Can I read? How do you know when an opportunity is right for you? Woo. You'll know an opportunity is right for you when you're not hesitant. If you're overthinking the financial offer, if you're overthinking the hours, if you're overthinking the scope of work, if you're overthinking the value of working with this company, if you're overthinking the company in general and their values, it's not right for you. An opportunity that you're super excited for, you want to accept immediately, don't do that either. But one that makes you feel like that is right for you. And don't just take every opportunity because you need money. When you take all these opportunities that are like, you make less room for the opportunities that are like, oh my God, I need that. How did you become a successful freelancer as a digital creator? I attribute my success as a freelancer in general a lot to letting go of fear. I still have a lot of fear often for different opportunities and situations, but letting go of that fear has brought so much into my life. Letting go of the fear of rejection, letting go of the fear of disappointment, like even when you have a job, what if the client doesn't like what you've done? Letting go of the fear of embarrassment, so posting my work and showing up more online. So letting go of fear any chance I can has given me a lot of success, I'll say that. How to get brand partnerships where you design something for them. So I think this means when I collaborate with brands like, for example, recently I've done a contract with VH1 where I produced assets for them for specific holidays. I think they mean stuff like that. So a lot of those partnerships, I'm not gonna lie, they come from networking. I know someone who knows someone, or they are mutual friends of mine who happen to work at this company, or they're working with an agency that's working with that company, or someone who is working on that team found me on Instagram. It's always that type of connection. It's never a direct reach out. I don't get RFPs, which are requests for proposals. I don't get RFPs for those types of jobs. Nothing like that. It's more so either they found me online or I knew somebody who said my name in a room and they loved it and they invited me to do the project. It's also the case where once you have your foot in the door with one company, a lot of them talk to each other, and so your name will get brought up in plenty of rooms from there. Make sure you keep your connections clean because you never know. Again, yo, post your stuff. It'll help you out. Any tips on growing your social media and networking? Do I have any new tips besides everything I said in this video already? You might want to add some value, especially if you have a service-based business. So you'll want to think of questions that some of your followers may Google or look up all the time or wonder, and you're going to want to be the one to provide those answers to them. I've done videos on how to increase your pricing if you're a service-based business. I've done videos on just advice for people looking to get into creative roles. Things like that. You'll want to be valuable. The caption area is a place to show people who you are. I make jokes in there all day. I'm not a comedian. I'm a low-key comedian, but I'm not a comedian. But I do like to be funny, and so I put my funny in the caption. They get a little bit more than just like, here's a drawing I did. Being funny, relatable, valuable, innovative. All of those are things that make people want to share and engage. When people engage with your content because they want to respond to whatever it is you wrote in your caption, whatever value you provided them, they want to thank you or whatever the case may be, that helps you a lot. Then you also have people that will share your content, and now you have all these new eyes on your social media platform. Generally and technically, growing social media, depending on the platform you use the tools that the platform provides. Instagram likes Reels right now, use Reels. Instagram also really likes carousels right now, use carousels. TikTok likes carousels right now, use carousels. TikTok likes people using their own audio, use your own audio instead of trying to find the trending ones. Pay attention to those things and then add the stuff I said before, and things should start moving. If you don't have a website yet, what would you recommend to use to showcase your portfolio? So I've been there, I'm almost currently there. I don't like my website anymore, so I don't really share it often. I suggest if you don't have a website right now, the first and most valuable thing you can do is make a nice PDF. Make a PDF. You can use Canva, you can use Keynote, whatever. I don't know when's the last time y'all been on Canva, but Canva has a lot of features, okay? Make yourself a PDF that shows your work. Show more than you tell. Unless you were trying to make a portfolio out of some kind of writing career, show more than you tell. More images than talking, but also don't just put images and not tell anybody nothing, because the images out of context don't even make sense half the time. You want to show as much as possible and be concise in what you're telling. Make sure there are no typos in it. People send me their portfolios all the time, and the typos just they get me out of here. I can't even look any further, because why? If you have a portfolio, the number one thing I want to see is attention to detail. So why weren't you paying attention to those typos? And lastly, on the PDF note, and I literally cannot stress this enough, send a link, not an attachment. Upload that PDF somewhere, Dropbox, wherever. Make a unique URL for it so that you don't forget it, and whoever you send it to is easy for them to remember, whatever. And then link it when you send it to people. Send the link, not the attachment. A portfolio is meant to be updated, so you can consistently update that portfolio, and whenever that person clicks on that link, they'll never get nothing old that you don't want them seeing anymore. I've learned that the hard way. Lastly, if you don't have a website right now, I assume it's because you're like me and you're being too picky and nitpicking on what it looks like, and oh, I don't like these colors, or oh, this isn't a good reflection of myself, and whatever. The best thing you can do right now is make a quick, simple landing page, which you can make very cute. You can use Squarespace, ReadyMag, whatever platform you think you're most comfortable with. Make a landing page that has a quick about you and then links to the most important things, where you can now link that PDF, link your socials, link whatever. So when someone asks you for a website, you technically have your portfolio on there, ready for them to access. It's online. This is free game. Do you prefer to get paid to think or to do, meaning strategy or design? I prefer to get paid to think. I like the time to sit, relax, let ideas come to me. It's like the most chill form of work, and that really is you and your most genius element. I mean, I can't even begin to tell you the amount of things I think up in terms of strategy when I'm in the bathroom. The strategy brain is always working. That's what I love about it. You can probably tell I've lost my light. The sun is down. I thought I could do this with natural light. Play myself. I'm gonna go into the last question for today. As a creative, what advice would you give someone to be consistent and grow better through design? 1, do a little something every day if you can. I definitely am not someone who has been the best in the past at committing to doing something every day. But if you do even a little something, I mean, break it up, make it different each time. If you want to design your own letter A on one day, and work on color palettes the next day, whatever it is, do a little something every day to keep your muscles going. I would say absorbing design content is great as well. My preference is watching people design on YouTube. I have that on in the background for most of my day, a lot of my night. I'm always watching people design stuff on YouTube. It helps my ideas stay fresh. It even motivates me to want to go make something. I think that's a great way to practice without practicing. As for critiques, don't be afraid to let someone shit on your work. Show people your work. Show people your work. Let them say it's trash and then go rework it. And on that note, go rework old work. If you have something that you did years and years ago or months and months ago, whatever, revisit it. You'll have fresh eyes on it. You'll be able to say, I can do this better, and then, you know, rework it. My last thing on that would be to write more. I think it's much easier to come up with new, fresh, innovative ideas when you're not focused on making it look good. Pen and paper, start with words, not design. Just start with words. write out whatever it is. Even if you're writing like about your day, journaling, whatever, I think it's much easier for you to like come up with cool things to make, design, draw, take pictures of, create, whatever, when you are writing more and not focused on the color of it. That is all I have for today. If you watched this entire video, you a real one. But if you have any other questions you would like to ask me, or anything, any comments, if you want to say hey, please leave a comment below and subscribe, and I will talk to you next time.